Hello everybody, my name is Eternally Ethereal, as you can see on the screen, aka ValkyrieVerse Official, and this is going to be part one of a three-part series, okay? And this is going to be the character list. This is a Google slideshow presentation. I made a whole Google slideshow presentation. Why? Don't ask. I just wanted to. Anyways, I have a total of 3 subscribers, so you probably didn't see my my community post, but I have officially posted the first 2 chapters. They are the credits, warnings, and character list chapters. So they aren't real chapters, but they are still chapters of the official ValkyrieVerse story on the official Wattpad account, which is at ValkyrieVerseOFF, and you will see that in a second. But anyways, hi, welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. This is weird. If you've ever seen that Dream Swap fact videos, which if you're into alternate multiverses, then you probably have, even if it was 4 years ago. But that's essentially what this is. Low key. That's basically this, except for ValkyrieVerse. So anyways, hi if you're new. You probably are if you're watching this. Once again, I am Eternally Ethereal, the creator of ValkyrieVerse. And yeah. Okay, the content for ValkyrieVerse, obviously if you're watching this on YouTube, you are on my account. You're on my channel. Right? If you're gonna watch official ValkyrieVerse, then the YouTube channel is Eternally Ethereal. The uppercase E's are 3s. I'm very original, thank you, I know. Content for ValkyrieVerse such as teasers, comics, possible animations, and other official information will be posted on this channel. I say possible animations because I would love to get into animation. I would love to, right? I feel like my art style is beautiful. If I could animate, I might as well just make an anime. Okay? The Wattpad is at ValkyrieVerseOFF, like I said earlier. The official ValkyrieVerse story, specifically the novel, okay? I have been writing fanfiction for years. I've been writing fanfics for 4 years now, okay? I like to call myself seasoned. Listen, I like to write weird shit, okay? And people like my weird shit. Unfortunately, my weird shit is not under this name, and I will never tell you what name it's under. Never. But as for the official ValkyrieVerse, it's under this little @ right here. There you go. Chapters shall consist of main story, backstories, character concept art, official art, and literally anything else. I like to consider myself a good writer. I'm making a novel. And I'm making a novel because that's kind of how all of this started. It started off with art, and then it's like, oh, I could probably write a book about this. So I have been working on ValkyrieVerse for 2 years. 2 whole years. Go to a sketchbook from 2 years ago, you see blue. Obviously, here are the credits for original Undertale, and then all of the AUs. I did not make any AUs. I am making ValkyrieVerse. I'm making the multiverse, okay? All of these beautiful people are the reason why we can make stuff like this. This, as of right now, this is everyone that I have, drawn, I have made concept art for, I guess. Anyone you see on this list, don't forget about Papyrus, Underswap Papyrus. Everyone on this list is going to be somehow involved in the ValkyrieVerse storyline. Whether it's a big part like Dream and Nightmare, or a smaller part like Geno and Reaper, they will have some sort of spot in ValkyrieVerse. And I could bring in others, I could bring in Dance Tale, I could bring in Color, I could bring in Outer, but I don't really want to. Listen, I gave you 1 rainbow character, I gave you Fresh. That's all you're getting from me. Rainbow is hard to put into a mix together where it actually looks good. It's a lot harder than you think it is. Oh my gosh. Anyways, here are the warnings for ValkyrieVerse. ValkyrieVerse includes mature content, including but not limited to vulgar language, as you can tell from me so far. Sexual references, blood and gore references, murder and fighting, mental health references, suicide references, probably, alcohol references, and possible nudity. Images, okay? Images, possible nudity, like complete nudity. But there's revealing clothing on these women. Why? Because I'm no better than a man. I'm sitting right next to my lesbian pride flag. There's a reason it's on my wall. I am no better than a man. Read and watch at your own risk, bro. So yeah, I'm just gonna let that sink in, okay? I made ValkyrieVerse because I was like, oh, it'd be like a really cool storyline. And then I realized I am literally no better than a man. That is how gay I am. You're gonna see titties galore. So I mean, if you like titties and big booty women, stay, because you're gonna like this. Even if you don't like the storyline, you're gonna like the women. They're women. Now let me go over my whole spiel, what ValkyrieVerse is, okay? Hopefully you've seen the trailer, okay? As of right now, I haven't been on YouTube enough on this channel to put links in my description, which is why they're in comments. Sorry, but I don't make the rules, so I kind of can't link anything in my description yet. But right now, go and watch the ValkyrieVerse trailer. Totally, because it's really cool. I actually voiced that over. I was gonna get my friend to voice it over, because I mean, he's like a voice actor, aspiring voice actor, but I was like, why have a man voice over something that's filled with women? There's not a single man in this multiverse. So I was like, you know what, let me do my first ever voice acting job and just do it myself. And I did, and I really enjoy how it came out. And according to that one person who commented, apparently they did too. But anyways, let me tell you about ValkyrieVerse, okay? I need to pull up the literal description of it from the Wattpad book. ValkyrieVerse is a Sans AU multiverse that is based on the video games Genshin Impact, Honkai Impact 3rd, Honkai Star Rail, Wuthering Waves, and many other story-filled gacha games. Okay, I'm a gambling addict. In ValkyrieVerse, all of these Sanses are humans and female, okay? They have big boobs. But they still have similar personalities to their originals, as well as references in the story itself, okay? This multiverse has 3 main story arcs: The Midnight Queen, The Tale of Two Sisters, and My Creator, the Destroyer. Within these stories, you will meet all of the characters and learn of their thoughts, ideals, and experiences. Some things you will expect, but others will be so gut-wrenching that you'll become immersed in the story, unable to sit and wait for more. There is no self-insert in ValkyrieVerse. That was just me talking to the readers. The arcs in this Wattpad story will be written like books, but the Wattpad chapters themselves won't always be chapters for the main story. The first few chapters will be credits and warnings, then the character backstories. Skip if you don't want spoilers for some characters, but backstories are not going to be explained in full detail in the main story, only referenced. And then the main story. Character designs were done by the one-woman team of ValkyrieVerse Official, aka me, Eternally Ethereal, and please give me credit when you show it in videos or use designs in art. Designs will be shown on the character list, the design outline, and the official art for the character. Wattpad has some crappy, like, 20 image limit, apparently, per chapter. So, yeah. Official art and concept art is gonna have to be on, like, 2 different chapters. Official art is gonna be on, like, the individual, like, character chapters. Like, the ones with, like, their backstories and, like, their facts and stuff. So, yeah. There will hopefully be a comic for this multiverse posted on the Eternally Ethereal YouTube channel. Check that channel out if you are interested in this multiverse to stay updated, even though most updates will be here first. That is right. Most updates will, in fact, be on the Wattpad account first, mainly because I write books like no one you've ever seen before, bro. I'll just speed through that. If I'm into it, you better believe it. Anyways. Characters. Warning, the following information will include character concept art, brief summaries of their backstories, and basic facts about them and their purpose in the story. Okay. The Valkyries. Now, once again, this is part 1 of a 3-part series I will be doing. The first part will be the Valkyries. The second will be Celestial Army, which includes Midnight, Solar, Murder Time Trio, and Cross. And then part 3 will be Neutrals and Extras. Anyways, this is part 1 for the Valkyries. I will hopefully try to get the others done first. Listen, I started this slideshow presentation like at 3 p.m. and I was like, I can get it done. It's not done. I've only gotten the Valkyries done and it's like 8. But then again, I'm like, I can't focus on anything. So let me get a quick sip of Dr. Pepper and then we will be going into this. Anyways, here is the summary of her backstory, and it'll also explain why her name was also Genesis. So, Genesis was the goddess of creation, the creator of the world ValkyrieVerse takes place in. So, like, she created Earth, essentially. The universe, I guess. Not the universe, but the world. She was a kind and humble god, and she always avoided fighting. She spent her time with her counterpart Nemesis, who did not like the idea of creating the humans of Earth. While Genesis pushed her friend's limits, she pushed her own, creating the sun and moon goddesses Aurum and Argentum. You heard it from me first, okay? Genesis created Solar and Midnight. Alright, there you go. Eventually, Genesis and Nemesis got into a big fight over Earth, which resulted in Nemesis taking away the other's ability to feel emotions. She locked her creation powers and memories of ever being Genesis away and sent her down to live on Earth with her creations. Now, the reason why she took her ability to feel was because she felt that it was, like, making her weak. She was like, you're getting too attached to these things, like, you gotta stop. And she's like, oh, man, I ain't gonna stop. What you talking about? So, yeah. That ended well. Genesis became the protector, the deity that resides over the ideology of protecting others. She founded the Valkyries and was allies with Midnight up until the beginning of Arc 1. The timeline is that Genesis becomes the protector a short while after the eclipse. And when I say eclipse, I'll get into that in the second part. But that's essentially that's the Apple incident of ValkyrieVerse, I guess. Anyways, facts. And she has 2 pages. She is the founder and current leader of the Valkyries, the goddess/deity of protection. Technically, she is thousands, if not millions, of years old, because her and Nemesis originated in some other world, and then they, like, I don't know. Don't ask me. Once again, I don't think about it, I just make them. Okay? Don't ask me. They traveled, like, between, like, time and space, and then she made a world, I guess. So yeah, she's old. When fighting, she uses a gun with paint-like bullets. They're real bullets, but they're made of paint. However, she is also good at close combat and uses just, like, a regular sword when doing that. She has magic, which is, like, protection magic, I guess, and she can create things of small scale, but she mainly just makes shields. Like, she crystallizes her magic and, like, makes shields, and they're extremely strong. They're, like, stronger than anything, like, anyone can make man-made. Now, once again, the belt around her waist is for vials, but they're not filled with, like, liquid paint that can make her feel like the original ink. The vials are little bullets, and each color bullet has, like, a different ability that, I guess, gets activated on impact. She feels no emotions. She has no memory of anything before founding the Valkyries, and she has a strong sense of justice, but she doesn't know why. It's like she doesn't remember her past. She just knows that she is here to bring justice on the world. She's extremely intelligent, like, she's really, like, hella smart. And she spends most of her time planning and researching about the missing goddess, quote-unquote, Solar/Aurum, and I'll give, like, a little insight here. Solar and Midnight are the goddesses of the sun and the moon. Solar, obviously, sun. Midnight, moon. However, their god names are Aurum and Argentum, based on the Latin words for gold and silver. Now, I don't care if I'm pronouncing that incorrect. My words now, okay? I don't care. So, yeah. What was I gonna say? Okay, so yeah, so, like, after, like, the eclipse, basically Solar kind of disappeared, quote unquote. However, the eclipse happened 200 years after, like, their creation, like the creation of the goddesses, Solar and Midnight. So there wasn't really a whole lot of information. You get what I'm saying? So essentially, Solar was like kind of like erased. I'm not good at explaining things that I made. Okay. Okay, but yeah. So there wasn't really a whole lot of like information on Solar to begin with, and then she like disappeared, and then 2,000 years passed after the eclipse. So like Arc 1 starts 2,000 years after everything goes wrong. So yeah. You get what I'm saying? So they don't know if Solar is missing or if she just doesn't exist. But they're like, listen, there's a goddess of the moon. There's got to be a goddess of the sun too. So that's what she's looking for. Because Midnight is fucking crazy. Okay? The Protector isn't good at negotiating, so she makes her secretary, Marionette, do it for her. There is a reason there is a character called Marionette. Okay? Marionette as in the puppet from Five Nights at Freddy's. That's her name. Not Marionette from, like, Miraculous Ladybug. Fucking hate Miraculous Ladybug. Don't flame me in the comments. But Marionette as in puppet, okay? She has no romantic or sexual relationships or feelings. That's canon. Listen, I don't care if you take my shit and, like, ship characters. As long as you know that this is canon. If you acknowledge the canon, I'm fine with it. But if you don't acknowledge the canon, we're gonna have a few problems. She is extremely strong for being shorter than 5 foot. Like, Slay Queen? Slay. She's like 4'11". She's like really short. Don't ask me. Once again, I might have created them. But don't ask me. She rarely has free time, but whenever she does, she spends it painting. And she isn't like an amazing artist. She's like a heavenly artist. Like Da Vinci type amazing. Michelangelo. Like those really, really amazing like Renaissance artists. Yeah. But I like to believe that her art style is more like Van Gogh. She seems like her art style would be Van Gogh. Okay? So yeah, she doodles on the sides of her important documents when she can't think. Real. Same. Here's the thing, the doodles are eyes, okay? But they're not just any eyes, they're Nemesis eyes. The eyes of, like, her counterpart. Loki, her girlfriend, that, like, got rid of her. But she doesn't know that they're Nemesis eyes. Like, she knows that they're familiar, but she doesn't know where they're familiar from, okay? Like, it's just engraved in, like, her memory. Or her mind, muscle memory, I guess. That, like, she's seen those eyes somewhere and they mean something important to her, but she doesn't know why. She's always extremely serious, and she uses logic to decide her ideals, which can sometimes lead to negative consequences. So yeah, she can't feel. She's not really an empath anymore, so she has to rely on logic and what makes the most sense. Anyways, her backstory. Marionette is a puppet created by the goddess of destruction Nemesis, aka the puppeteer. Nemesis and the puppeteer, like the same person, it's just a different name. Nemesis cannot create true life, unlike her counterpart Genesis, but she can create synthetic life. Nemesis puppets are extremely realistic to the point they can feel like emotions, like real humans can. After defeating Genesis and sending her to Earth, Nemesis started making puppets to help with the loneliness. She created Marionette and sent her to Earth as a way of watching over Genesis. Marionette does not know of Nemesis' existence, however she constantly feels paranoid, as though something is like always watching her. She is anxious, kind, and extremely curious about who she is and how she is able to live for so long. She does not remember her past, quote unquote, because it doesn't exist, but she doesn't know that her past doesn't. She doesn't know that she's a puppet. At all. Like, she knows she is not like other people, but she doesn't know why. She randomly woke up one day with a strange desire to learn about gods and goddesses of the world. And the timeline for this one, Marionette was created 500 years after Genesis was sent to Earth, and then she joined the Valkyries 100 years after that. Okay, so Nemesis was low-key missing her girlfriend. But I mean, her fault. She got rid of her anyway. She got rid of her in the first place. Anyways, there's also 2 slides for this one, but they're for the different people. Nemesis, she watches over the world like Genesis used to. She always felt that Genesis' feelings and empathy were weaknesses. Occasionally creates rifts in time and space, which they look like glitches. So you know how in like a lot of like videos, like Error will like glitch out like the Anti-Void and like steal shit. It's essentially that. And she does that so that she can lure unsuspecting victims, and she eats them. And like, she's massive. I mean, a person's probably the size of like her nose. Girly is massive. So like, if you play Genshin and you see like the big like Scaramouche fight, I mean, and like where he's holding like Nahida by like her back, like her little cape. Yeah, that's like how big she is. That's how big Nemesis is. But here's the thing. To the outside world, these people are, like, erased from existence. Which is why no one has found out yet. So, like, the thing with Irminsul, the tree in Genshin Impact, right? Greater Lord, Ruka Devada, she's like, let the world completely forget me, right? And she was actually erased from existence. Like, everyone's memories of her gone. Like, actually erased from existence. She never existed in the first place. And that's essentially what happens, like, with this. They're just deleted. They are deleted from the world. They forget they exist. Anyways, continuing. Nemesis has the ability to control her puppets, but it makes small, like, versions of, like, her eye appear somewhere on their body. She has blue strings under her eyes, like, the original Error. And she has 3 eyes, the third being smack dead on her forehead. She only made herself a human form after meeting Genesis. However, she previously took the form of, like, a massive spider. Like, a spider the size of a planet. I don't know. It was, like, mystical and, like, heavenly. A god. She's a god. The blue strings were, like, the webs, and there were patterns on it. And she can technically take any form that she wants. Slay Queen. And on to Marionette. Marionette is kind, timid, anxious, and extremely paranoid. She doesn't know of her past. She thinks that she just, like, forgot it because she's been alive for so long. She doesn't know she's a puppet. She just assumes she was cursed with immortality. She doesn't know that Nemesis exists. Like, she doesn't know that there's, like, a god of destruction anywhere. Her design and personality is centered towards canon Error, meanwhile Nemesis is centered towards fanon or underverse Error. Marionette was created accidentally when Nemesis was upset and missing Genesis, which makes her extremely similar to Genesis. Marionette has a purposely basic design. She wears red glasses, but they don't help her vision at all. She's blind. You know, me too. Valid. She spends all of her time doing what the Protector asks and helps the Valkyries when the Protector can't. So she is literally with the Protector, like, 24/7. She is the Protector's, like, secretary. As mentioned in, like, the previous, like, characters, like, area. She is the secretary for the Valkyries and mainly for the Protector. She's like an assistant, I guess. She runs her errands when asked. It's great. His follows her like a dog. Anyways, backstory. General Red, her real name is Rachel, but she goes by Red, is the offense general of the Valkyries. She had a relatively simple childhood. She made decent grades, like B's, the occasional C or an A. She didn't have many bad experiences. She occasionally got made fun of or, like, bullied for being emo or goth, but, like, you know, just, like, basic, oh, you're kind of emo, you know. After high school graduation, her older sister pushed her to join the Celestial Army so that they could work together. They had always had similar ideals, so she accepted. Throughout her early 20s, Red worked hard and moved up the ranks very quickly. Soon outranking her older sister, they argued often because of it. Okay, she's like, haha, I'm younger than you and I'm better, bitch. You know? It's great. Red eventually became the general of the Celestial Army's offensive team, alongside Assassin, and we'll get more into her later, but like Assassin, to make sense why there's two generals, Assassin is both the offense general and Midnight's personal guard. So, yeah, there's going to be two offense generals. She became friends with another general, Powder, who is the range? Yeah, I guess range. Magic and or range. So like the people with the guns and the bows. And the magic. That's a Powder. And they ended up getting really close. I'm not gonna elaborate on that. You can take that however you want to. I know I'm taking it a certain way, but you know, yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. Listen, I'm gay, but that doesn't mean my work has to be. But it usually is. It usually is. Due to the overwhelming emotions from the constant fighting with her sister and a falling out with Powder, once again, I'm not elaborating on that, Red resigned as a Celestial Guard and joined the Valkyries, where she did everything again and became the general of the offensive team once more. So she had experience. Facts. She spends most of her time, if not all of it, alone. She performs her job perfectly, and she's extremely hardworking. She cut off all, her friends. She cut off her older sister, she cut off the Celestial Army generals and, all of her friends after she swapped teams. She's really cold on the outside, and many people assume that she's rude just because of her general disposition. In her free time, she plays the electric guitar or practices combat techniques, either one. Once again, she's a goth queen, you know. Well, not queen. The goth queen is gonna have to be Midnight, but most of the Valkyries and Celestial Guards are scared of her. She has connections with Poppy, which is Blue's older sister, and or Underswap Papyrus in ValkyrieVerse, and was part of the reason why Blue was able to get an internship at the Valkyrie headquarters. However, she is not fond of Blue due to their differences in personalities. She finds Blue extremely annoying because she keeps trying to be friends, but she respects her as a Valkyrie. Anyways, here's her backstory. Blue has wished to be a Valkyrie since she was young. On the way home from school one afternoon, since she was probably primary, elementary school, I don't know, she found herself in the middle of a crime. She's very naive and stuff. She's not a complete dumbass, but she's naive and kind of aloof and doesn't always know what's happening until after it happens. So, not completely aware of what was happening, she tried to stop the criminal and ended up getting hurt in the process, but she did her best to hang on, okay? Listen, the injury wasn't big. I just kind of threw that in there because I was speeding through the backstory trying to get this out. When I mean she didn't really know what was happening, she didn't realize it was a crime in the process. Because one, she was young, and two, like I said, she's kind of aloof, doesn't always know what's happening until after it happens. So she was why would you do that? And she's low-key trying to ask this person, why would you do that? And it all kind of ties in once I'll get to the facts, but yeah. Let's see. She was separated from the person by the protector herself and was scolded by the deity. From that day on, Blue dreamed of being a Valkyrie. In high school, probably around age 16, Blue got a job as an intern under Marionette at the Valkyrie headquarters. She performed her duties to the best of her abilities and beyond, spending her free time watching the Valkyries train. As soon as she graduated, she enlisted and got accepted into the organization. Now, Blue is on the defensive team and is on her way to ranking up. Facts. She is extremely kind-hearted to everyone, even criminals. She tries her hardest to be friends with Red, but fails every time. Marionette and Blue are extremely close and spend all of their time together. Blue looks up to Marionette more than the other Valkyries because she was her mentor during her internship. She talks about her nonstop, and her sister bullies her for having a quote-unquote crush on her. Listen, not gonna elaborate on that either. Take it how you want, okay? But you know how, you'll be talking about someone, and you talk about them a lot, so then, a friend or, a sister or a brother is like, oh, you like this person, don't you? And it's like, no, there's cool. Like, they bully you for it? Yeah, that's essentially what's happening. Blue takes up multiple volunteer jobs around the headquarters, including regular patrols, extra patrols, helping Marionette in the office, and running errands for the General's Orly Protector. Blue has an extremely strong sense of justice and likes to be present during the arresting process and court trials of big criminals to try and understand their motives and to figure out if there is a way that they can receive their justice too. Blue doesn't have many real friends because she was always deemed as the weird, cringy kid in school for wanting to be a Valkyrie. Anyways, that is all that I have for this part. Stay tuned because eventually, soon, probably, I will get the second and third parts out. The third part's going to be really short, probably about the same length as this one. But the second one, there's quite a few characters in it. There's like 6, maybe 7. I'm probably going to put 7 in there. So yeah, that one's going to take a lot of time. I'll just have to work on it every time. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed part 1. This is the Valkyrie section, or Valkyrie part, of the character list, and I hope you were excited for ValkyrieVerse. A small teaser, I have already written the prologue for ValkyrieVerse, but I really don't want to, like, post it until I get down, like, the in-depth backstories and, like, character overviews. So you know I have already started on the main story, and I hope this isn't confusing to follow, and I'm sorry for interrupting myself so much during this video. It's just kind of hard to keep track. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this part of the ValkyrieVerse character list, and I will hopefully get the next view out later and soon. Anyways, once again, I am Eternally Ethereal, the creator of ValkyrieVerse, and I am so excited to get this in the makes. Goodbye!